This is Andy Purewal for Boxing Social in association with Betfred in the immediate aftermath of a brilliant win for Demetrius Andrade, a comfortable win on the cards. Eddie, sum it up, your thoughts?
Really good fight. I mean, Demetrius does what Demetrius does, comes out, starts like an absolute train. I mean, had Liam Williams absolutely all over the place in the first 3 rounds. And then Liam come back into it, gave Liam the 4th round, I think, and then didn't give him many rounds after that, but he hurt Demetrius in the 9th. But you can't, he's so awkward to land clean on, and he sort of old-manned him out of it. And I said to Francis Warren, who was sitting next to me, I said, I think Liam's going to get through 12 and go, oh, bloody, like, it just goes away from you. Obviously the 10-8 round to start, and it was an uphill battle. But he should be proud of himself, because as he said, he thinks Demetrius is the best middleweight in the world. That's arguable. But he did what I knew he'd do, which was not stop trying. And that's all you can ever ask. So Liam Williams and people back home and in Wales should be really proud of him, because he didn't stop trying, and he deserves a lot of credit.
Dropped him early on, Demetrius dropping Liam early on. What went through your mind then? Did you think there was any opportunities there for him to put his foot on the gas?
Do in the first round I thought it was over. He actually hurt him in the first round, and he hit him with a straight was it a left hand, I think, through the guard to drop him in the second. Couldn't miss him with the uppercut all night. But Demetrius, I don't know how well he did the weight. I don't think very well, looking at his performance, because he just didn't look like he had the tank tonight. And Liam wouldn't stop working him. He was doing brilliant in that respect. But, he took a couple of shots, and whether his resistance was what it should have been. And I just don't think he can stay at 160 for many more fights. That's why it's so frustrating that none of the champions will face him. So, there were times in that fight where I think Liam looked like he could be wearing him down, but then Demetrius is so clever, and the movement, and he was smart with the holding, locking him up. He'd have his hands free on the side of the referee, and he'd be locking him up with the right arm. He's just a very well schooled fighter. I would have liked him I would have liked to have seen him get the stoppage, but actually, like, if he would have gone out there and destroyed him in 3 rounds, we'd had no chance making the fight. And I think that and the other way, he did look a little bit vulnerable at times, Demetrius. So I'm hoping that Gennady and Jamal and these guys look at that and go, do you know what? I can stop this guy. And we'll see.
What do you think the likelihood is that it will be a unified title fight next for Demetrius?
I think it has to be. I just don't know what other fights to make at 160. Chris Eubank Jr. in London, decent fight. On the back of that performance, you'd have to say Eubank brings great pressure. He's got a fantastic chin. He's going to get pinged all over the place, but he's got a great engine. He won't stop coming, and he can punch. See how he gets on against Marcus Morrison, But that's not the fight Demetrius Andrade wants. Demetrius Andrade wants one of the champions, and he wants Gennady Golovkin, and he wants Jamal Charlo. I mean, look, I work with Gennady Golovkin, but I feel he should fight him. He's talking about fighting Murata on December 31st. That's one fight in 2 years or something he would have had, So I think Gennady Golovkin's the favourite against Demetrius Andrade, quite frankly, after that performance. And Gennady could fight him in the summer, unify, then fight Murata and unify. And then what about a fight between Gennady and Charlo in 2022? Monster, undisputed fight. But Charlo, what's he doing fighting Montiel? I mean, it's embarrassing. Scrap the Montiel fight and just make this fight in the summer. They can do it on pay-per-view, it'll do big numbers, and his brother's out there unifying the division in great fights like against Castano. I don't understand. But yeah, another win, and we keep trying.
Working through the card, Ed Carlos Congora again, a terrific stoppage victory. Yeah. Your thoughts?
Really good. He's a dark horse in the division. Come from nowhere in the Magidov rematch. I'd still like to do that. The first fight. I'd still like to do the rematch because I thought it was such a great fight. But he wants to fight anyone, and he will fight anyone in the division. Easy win for him against Pearson, and looking to get him back in the summer.
Magidov with a shock first round stoppage defeat. Your thoughts, Ed?
I mean, how brave was he? I mean, I actually tweeted after the stoppage. You could tell that he'd hurt his ankle, but I just thought that he was buzzed and concussed, and the first knockdown was really heavy. When you watched it back, I think the doctor said he's broke his ankle in 2 places. Horrific injury. Not taking anything away from Fedosov. I actually said Fedosov's going to be a really tough fight, and he's got an exciting future now with us as well. But a horrific night for Magidov. I mean, not just with the defeat, but the injury. That's going to take a long time, and he is, you know, older than most prospects. So a crushing defeat for Magidov, and congratulations to Fedosov.
For Jones suffering defeat as well tonight. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it was a shame we didn't get it on the TV feed. Actually, it's one of them where, you know, you look at it and you wish you would have. I believe it's being aired tonight on our YouTube platform. I feel for Ofer Jones. You know, he fought a very good fighter in Castaneda, who was 13-1. It was a great fight, wasn't it? I mean, what we're going to be doing, you know, with the DAZN global platform, as I said to you earlier in the interview, like it's this global platform, but it's also this sort of network of fights, right? So someone like Castaneda comes in and looks brilliant, and I'm a fan. Yeah. So Castaneda now sits in that world, right? Call it DAZN, call it UFC, whatever you want to call it. And now Castaneda gets an opportunity to fight in the US, in Mexico, in the UK, in Australia, in Italy, in Spain. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I look at it and say something like, well, okay. I mean, one fight I was thinking of, I know Tennyson's well advanced, is Tennyson against Castaneda is a fucking absolute barn burner. But all these great fighters, and Ofer Jones as well. Ofer Jones is in a shitty place. You know, he's had a draw, he's had a defeat, it's not going the way we wanted it to go. But he stays in the game, he stays in that, but the route's got to change. You know, he's going to have to travel for a big fight and take a chance. But his team are willing to do it. So this is how this new world works. And someone like Castaneda comes in, makes a name for himself, and just changes his life. And congratulations to him. And Ofer showed tremendous balls. If he would have lost tonight and just, you know, not really done a lot, I would have probably said, mate, this ain't for you. But the difference is, when you show heart like that and you put up a great fight, you deserve another opportunity, and he shall get one. Wins
for Alexis Espino and Aaron Aponte. What next for Pervin?
Yeah, really good. I mean, actually, Aponte was another great fight as well, early doors. Alexis looked good. I'd like to see him look a little bit sharper. Biaslanov, good win as well. Again, tough opponent, 9-0, 7 knockouts. He can come back as well. So they're looking. Actually, look, I would like to make Castaneda against Biaslanov. That's a great fight. So, you know, those guys, they've all got to keep going and keep moving on.
Now, just a couple of things before I let you go. The DAZN feed seemed to cut out of the sound seemed to go according to social media, so you was announcing the CANELO card.
I reckon it was just some bloke in a truck. When I got the mic, he went, bin him off. Yeah, so obviously May the 8th, Canelo Alvarez against Billy Joe Saunders. Elwin Soto will defend his world title against Takayama. Frank Sanchez will fight Aguilera. And just a brilliant fight between Kieran Conway and Suleiman Sissoko. I just loved the fight. We talked about Conway against Vargas. We couldn't make that fight, and in steps Suleiman Sissoko. It's just a brilliant fight at 154, and I want to get all those guys in that weight class fighting. You know, we've got to make Fowler against Cheeseman. We've made Sissoko against Conway. You know, there's so many great fights. Fitzy's out there as well. Keyshawn Davis, Mark Castro also on the card as well, and a couple more to add. Obviously, we've got the ongoing situation with Kid Galahad and Jazza Dickens, which is also due to be on that card. We're just finalising the visas, and we hope that lands there too. And yeah, it's going to be an amazing night. Over 60,000 tickets sold, and obviously saw Canelo and Billy this week. They're ready to go.
May 15th, we were expecting the announcements. I haven't seen anything.
Yeah, the reason that I'm a bit delayed on it is because I'm still waiting to finalise Joshua Buatsi's opponent. So I don't. He's co-main event on the card, but I like to give you all the fights. So I've got a big mouth. I've virtually told everyone who's on the card anyway. But I mean, I'd like to say Monday, but I'll land on Monday. So we'll see. But May the 15th, yeah, everyone knows 3 European title fights. Terry Harper, Unification, Joshua Buatsi, etc., etc.
And final one, just because I've had a few people reach out to me and message me. Have you got a date in mind for AJ Fury?
Yes, I've got a date in mind, but it's not finalised. So one of the reasons that, again, I don't want to, you know, July 24th has long been a date that's in everybody's minds. That's still a potential date as well. As I said to you, since our last interview, when you asked me, I think it was yesterday, more paperwork, getting approved, everything is absolutely perfect. And the date, we're down to like 2 dates, and venue sorted, contracts coming through on different bits and pieces, all very smooth, all good in place. And hopefully, I won't even say this week, but we are, you know, if it messes up now, I won't say that just in case it messes up, but I know, yeah, but we're done. We're done.
Eddie, just because you took the mick out of me the other day. I think I've dressed up for you this evening.
Yeah. I put the jacket on. I've gone a little bit more corporate tonight, but good night. On we go. Massive night next Friday in Barcelona. You've got Jez Smith fighting Laradja, which is a great fight. You've got Gavin McDonnell fighting Gargo for the European title, and you've got April Hunter, and you've got Sandor Martin against Kay Prosper. So 3 Brits out there, actually 4 Brits, but 3 Brits going for big fights, 2 of them for the European title. So tune into that Friday night, Barcelona, the Zone. And then a week after, we've got Chisora Parker. See you there.
Bentley Cash on Saturday as well?
Yes, Bentley Cash, good fight. Looking for a really dominant performance from Felix Cash.
Eddie, as always, appreciate your time this week. Thank you.
Cheers, mate.